welcome to the first episode of BTM Behind the Media. I'm Rima, and I'm so excited to be finally launching this podcast. If you're joining us for this pilot episode, thank you for being here from the very beginning. This podcast is all about exploring how the mass media has evolved in our digital age. We'll be talking to creators, innovators, and people who are involved in this field. And I couldn't think of a better guest to kick this podcast off than YouTube creator Nehme from the channel Ryan and Tiana. Ryan and Tiana have built an incredible community of over 200,000 subscribers through their authentic reactions and entertaining commentaries. Unfortunately, Tiana isn't able to join us today. In this episode, we're looking at how communication, advertising, and storytelling tools have changed over time and what that means for creators today. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you for being with us today.
Hi, thank you for having me.
For listeners who are just discovering you, can you tell us about Ryan and Tiana and how you got started on YouTube?
Okay, so for listeners who are just discovering me, Ryan and Tiana actually were two high school friends who met in school, and we had a common dream, I would say. Maybe not a dream, but we were both ambitious and we wanted to discover social media and the online world. So it started off with it was actually because of you, kind of. You got us introduced to K-pop. We weren't really into K-pop back then. We didn't know much about it. And then after you got us into it, Tiana was like, Ryan, there's this thing that's booming on YouTube. People are filming reactions to K-pop. Let's film a video and let's see what it's about. We did a video. We didn't intend on posting it the first time we filmed, but then Tiana ended up posting it, and the video started getting traction overnight. It was an overnight thing. I think it got like 1,000 views, and we were like, wow, that's really good for a first time. And after this video, we just decided let's do this more often. It might be a thing. It might become a full-time job. And it did. We proceeded from there. We just kept filming more and more. And yeah, that's how it went.
Okay, so since you said you've been creating since 2019, how has your approach to content creation changed since then?
It definitely changed. First of all, the competition shapes everything. Back then, there weren't as many creators, so it was a bit less tense. Nowadays, you really have to differentiate yourself. Although it's a niche community, the K-pop reactions on YouTube, still there are so many people trying to get on it, trying to do the same thing. So yeah, back then, we were amongst a few, I would say, but now it's a lot of people, so it's way more competitive in that sense. And I feel like the audience is more demanding nowadays. Back then it was simpler.
Yeah.
I feel like with Gen Alpha becoming the main audience, they're a bit more, how do you say it? Like judgmental.
Yeah.
You have to take care of everything you say. It's
It's like
more
that in the K-pop community in general.
Of course,
like,
that as
they're
well.
all sensitive.
Very sensitive.
Yeah.
It adds to it. Sometimes you can't really speak your mind because some people are going to interpret your, whatever you say in their own way, which can cause problems. It's happened.
You've been cancelled a couple of times.
I've been personally cancelled a couple of times, and you were the preacher. You were the one to inform me because I do not have Twitter. But that's the case.
I have a question. How do you feel like you stand out from other creators? What makes you like more unique as a duo, as Ryan and Tiana?
It's definitely in the question you just framed. It's the duality of the both of us. Us being opposite genders, obviously.
Okay.
A guy and a girl having different perspectives on a lot of things. And the fact that we're neither siblings nor in a relationship, which a lot of our subscribers thought for the longest time. A lot of people thought we were twins, but we're not. I never knew we looked that similar. But yeah, it's just the friendly dynamic of, opposite sexes that,
Okay.
I think that's the main selling point of Ryan and Tiana. Yeah.
Okay. So photography and video were once gate-kept by expensive equipment and technical knowledge. Now anyone with a smartphone can create content. How do you think this has changed storytelling and content creation? As as maybe you, like as a YouTube creator, maybe?
As a YouTube creator.
Like before it was harder to have
sure.
subscribers on YouTube. Not everyone could have been famous just by reacting or like just
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. First of all, that's such an important question because we started off with a smartphone. That was our only equipment. And if we were to rely on expensive equipment like cameras, microphones, and all of that, we wouldn't have started to begin with because we were 17-year-olds with zero budget, obviously. We had our phones and you know, we went with that. I feel like just being able to create with just a smartphone opened so many doors for so many creators in general to be able to show themselves, show their personalities. Like, your expensive camera is not gonna
limit you.
Yeah,
it's not gonna
it's
be
not
like
gonna
an obstacle.
it's not gonna give you the light that you were gonna offer.
For sure.
Through you. So it's definitely a plus. It's gonna make the experience more enjoyable for the viewer. But yeah, being able to just create with simple tools is gonna open so many doors for a lot of us to just experiment and be able to take that step online.
Yeah. So you also create on social media, like on Instagram, TikTok. So social media has completely transformed how we communicate and consume content. From your perspective as a creator, how has social media evolved since you started your channel? Or even started posting on Insta? Like, I know you've been posting since you were young and you've always loved posting on social media.
Yeah.
How did that change the style of posting, everything?
Yeah. I think it aligns a little bit with what I mentioned earlier, but things are becoming a bit more serious, which I don't like. I'm sure you remember as well, like when we were younger, we used Instagram as a really fun platform to share everything we were doing.
Yeah.
Now there's like a specific platform for everything. But yeah, I think it's more intense with a lot of judgment online. That's the main thing that changed. Also, attention span. Back then we had way longer attention span. Nowadays you have to be as quick and attractive as possible. So a lot of that changed.
How do you deal with that when posting on TikTok?
TikTok is actually the easiest way to deal with that because people want this quick, short, straight to the point type of video that I believe takes the least amount of effort to produce. It's not easy, not at all, but the least amount of effort out of the other platforms. So yeah, TikTok, I feel like goes with an insane, like a catchy catchphrase at the beginning. And then if you're entertaining enough, you're good to go. People are going to watch you.
Yeah.
It's different for YouTube, of course.
And how do you deal with that with YouTube? With reaction channels, because some people want you to pause and like focus on like the details. Some people don't like when you pause. Some people don't watch long videos. So like, how do you deal with that? How do you like go with the middle ground?
Really good question, because we've actually struggled with this. Online, there's always so many opinions on how people want things. People have different opinions. They're never gonna agree on one style. So at the beginning, when we were a bit sensitive, to a lot of these comments, if someone said, like pause less, pause more, do that, we were a bit more receptive. But as we grew more and more on YouTube, it's not that we became less sensitive to people's opinions, but we started to realize that the best content is going to be authentic content.
Yeah.
So do whatever you're going to feel most comfortable with. And in the end, you're never going to please everyone, There's always going to be some people that are not going to like what you're doing, whether, you think it's perfect, whether it's not perfect. So I think the best thing is to just stay authentic. And I mean, if there's a majority trying to send you a message, that is going to help your content, of course, do that. But otherwise, you can't shift your entire style for minor comments here and there.
I feel like before you were very like careful with what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're still like nice about it. Like you don't say rude stuff, but you're more you. You're more yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that.
I agree. It definitely is the case. And it aligns with what I said earlier. When you're first growing, you're a bit more careful because you're not really sure of the whole industry. You're not sure if you're going to continue growing. You don't want to disappoint anyone. So it can be a bit more sensitive, and I think it's normal for any creator who's starting. But then later on, you find your comfort in what you do, and it's
You find
good to
yourself.
you find yourself 100%, and it's
Yeah.
good to stay authentic, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, while keeping in mind that you can't hurt people's feelings and you have to be considerate
Of the celebrities.
of the celebrities, people you're commenting about. Of course, it's a major thing. And you know, from our reactions, we refrain to make any comments that might hurt anyone we're talking about, because
Yeah.
they might be watching our videos, of
Yeah.
course. So yeah, it's something.
Yeah, a lot of people do watch your videos. Like a lot of idols have watched. How
I
do you deal with
agree.
that?
It sounds like I'm boasting, but I'm not. I agree because we've had proof of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know Jackson Wang.
Yeah, he posted
Yeah,
you
he once posted
on
us
his
on his
story.
story, and it's normal, you know. It's just like artists wanting to know people's feedback. I feel like the reactions in the K-pop industry are literally that. So it's normal for K-pop artists to go scroll, see what people think about their art.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's natural that they might have seen us.
Platforms like YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram all have different cultures and algorithms. How do you think these platforms have shaped the type of content creators make?
Very good question. Now, each platform has its own charm and its own, I feel like, overall style of content. In my opinion, Instagram is the most serious. Or
For you.
Maybe for me.
I think it's for
But
you.
I feel like Instagram is the most artistic, and the platform where creators care the most about the visual aspect of their content, whereas it's not necessarily the case with the other platforms. I feel like TikTok is the most carefree, because the way the algorithm works is you never know. So
Yeah, exactly.
you can't be too meticulous with what you post. Of course, you're going to find your niche, you're going to find your audience, and you're going to stick to that. But your style can be so effortless because you never know. You don't overthink on TikTok.
Yeah.
Something might blow up without you even considering it.
Yeah, exactly.
With YouTube, I feel like is a bit tricky. I always say when people are asking me for advice when they want to start content creation, I always say YouTube I feel like is the trickiest platform, because there's the thumbnail and title aspect that really plays a huge role in whether people are going to watch your content or not. And this is something that hasn't changed all along on YouTube. Although a lot of styles, content creation style has changed on YouTube, that hasn't changed. You always have to have a very catchy thumbnail, a catchy title. Otherwise, people are not going to click. If people are not going to click, the algorithm is not going to boost your video.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the main differentiation. I mean, they've all changed in a way, but TikTok is rather new. So I don't know how it might have changed from back then till now. But YouTube, I think, is more or less the same, but attention span is also shorter. So I shouldn't swear, right? Okay. So these super long videos are no longer appreciated as much. I mean, unless subscribers are super invested in the creator themselves and they're here to listen to whatever they have to say, then yeah. But if you're trying to attract new audience, you're gonna want to shorten your YouTube videos a little more.
Yeah.
Not like TikTok and Instagram, but just you get what I mean.
Yeah. I feel like TikTok before, like when it started in 2019, it was, in my opinion, it was easier to go viral because you could have posted like stupid things and you could have just went viral.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about like personal experience.
Yeah.
Now I don't post on TikTok anymore, but I used to, and it used to go viral for like no reason.
I know.
But now it's getting more competitive because before there weren't many people on TikTok. Like
100%.
TikTok was a new platform, but now everyone wants to be on TikTok.
100%.
Everyone wants to go viral. So the competition is harder. So
100%.
like, how do you stand out from others? Or like what do you do to stand out?
That's actually something very difficult that everyone's trying to figure out. How do you stand out with that many creators being on the platform? To be honest, I don't want to be philosophical. For me, in the Middle East, I'm kind of privileged in a sense that there aren't many male content creators doing what I do.
Yeah.
So, for example, getting ready with me.
And you went popular for like a bit, like because like you make yogurt with like those like weird like
the most random stuff.
You go viral for like the most random stuff.
And that's the thing. You always have to try. You never know. Try and,
And this
eventually
weird
you'll do well.
deodorant of yours.
And it still has a buzz, which is which is crazy.
Okay, so let's talk about advertising. You've been in a couple of ads, you've modeled for a couple of companies. Can you tell me more about that?
To be honest, I feel like I'm starting to get more exposed to ads now that I'm creating alone on TikTok. But yeah, I have worked with Grab and Go for an ad. It was super fun. It was easier than I expected. I thought the environment when working with these big companies was going to be a bit more serious and demanding.
How did they approach you? Can I ask?
I was at a restaurant.
Oh.
And the team was having dinner at the same restaurant, and they saw me and they came up to me and they said they've seen me on TikTok. Am I interested in doing an ad for Spinneys or Grab and Go?
That's very cool.
Yeah, and I said, I'm sure, yeah, why not? So we discussed it, and yeah, we ended up working it out. I filmed a few videos for Grab and Go. And one that I'm really proud of, and that's why I'll mention it, I did a solo ad on YouTube for Phoenicia Intercontinental, the hotel in Beirut. And that was a really nice experience because I was the one who approached them.
Oh.
And it was my first time actually, maybe not my first time, but maybe my first time succeeding, where I pitched myself to the company, and they actually found my content interesting, and they wanted to collaborate. So I feel like that specific collaboration opened my eyes that, don't be scared, pitch yourself. They might not reply, they might not want to work with you, but at least try.
Yeah.
So yeah, I learned a lot from that one.
So like before, in traditional advertising, there used to be TV commercials, print ads, billboards. Now that we have influencer marketing like yourself, how do you see advertising having evolved over time?
I mean, the blessing we have, not necessarily we, but the blessing everyone has with social media is that they get to promote their brand or themselves without having to pay anything, Back then, promoting yourself costed you money.
Yeah.
Yourself as in you as a person or your business. Nowadays, you can do that for free, and everyone has the chance to promote themselves, to create ads online.
So it's a win-win.
It is kind of,
Yeah.
It gave everyone the freedom to also be creative with the things they want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that you can advertise, create, and do everything from the comfort of your home makes it much more accessible, easy, you know, and gets people inclined to try at least and do something about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you as a creator, you as a creator, how do you balance authenticity with sponsored content?
Very good question. Now, to be honest, I'm always selective in the sense that the thing I'm going to promote has to sort of align with myself, what I do, my personality.
Identify with.
Exactly. Even Tiana and I, when we got certain requests on YouTube, sometimes for example, if you're asked to promote something that has to do with football as a K-pop reactor, the money is there, but I can't help you. I can't.
You can't be yourself.
I can't
You
promote.
can't genuinely promote it.
It's not. It doesn't make sense. You know, I can take the money from you, and my audience is gonna be like, "You're such a money grabber. What does that? Why? You know." So I feel like you just have to be a little bit selective with what you promote. Make sure it aligns with your brand, because it's also gonna be, you know, kind of shocking to your viewers, because they're gonna feel the inauthentic vibe once you start to promote anything for the sake of the money. And once you do end up selecting the brands you want to work with, the brands you want to promote, just make sure to, what I do at least is I blend it in with my day-to-day life, my normal way of living, you know. I make it go through seamlessly with my content, and I feel like that's really important, just to make your viewers feel that
you can identify with your
content. You're not just slamming it in their face, and it's something that you actually how do you say it?
You build trust with your audience, maybe? Like, for example, this ad that you did with the healthy food. It's so you.
Exactly.
It's such a you ad.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it makes total
sense.
because I'm a consumer of that brand. So it's exactly what I said. Like, it aligns perfectly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Ryan, you as a person, you're very into aesthetics, especially on Instagram.
Oh, wow.
You used to like be like very like careful with what you post. You still are. You like take 10 hours to decide.
Yeah.
So how important do you think this like visual aesthetics are important in the age of social media?
Wow. Okay. I want to make one thing clear, that this is a personal thing, and I don't think people in general should be that stuck up on aesthetics. It's just something that I like to be picky about, and it's a personal preference. So all I want to say is that it's not that important to be selective with aesthetics and all of that. If you like to be picky about it, then do as I do. But the thing that I don't like about it is that aesthetics play a huge role on social media, where some people have so much talent and so much potential, but they just don't make it because we have certain standards that don't allow them to. That's actually really sad. And some people just have zero talent and they just look good according to what we frame as looking good.
Yeah.
And they just end up doing well. So that's kind of the bad part about it. Now, the thing that is also very societal norms change so much. So what was pretty 5 years ago is not pretty anymore. So I feel like we shouldn't really base everything we do on aesthetics because it's based on societal norms and they change so much. So yeah, I feel like be yourself. Don't think too much about aesthetics, although I do. But yeah.
I feel like even the style of content has changed. Like now people post dumps. Before it was just like pictures of themselves.
Exactly.
It has changed.
Exactly. The self-obsession has changed.
Yeah. Still there. Anyways.
You're not talking to me, right?
I am.
Thank you.
So you've built this incredible international fan base with your followers all over the world. Have you had any memorable moments where you've encountered fans either locally or abroad? Is there any story that stuck with you? I'm thinking of a specific story, but is there anything that stuck to you?
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Two actually.
I have a few. Not many. To be completely honest, I haven't had that many encounters, but I did have some that like shook me. I was like, wow, like people know who I am. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
I have a really funny one. I'll keep it short, but basically, at first when Tiana and I were creating, it wasn't a public thing amongst ourselves, and you know that.
Yeah.
Everyone around us didn't know that we were YouTubers, and we kept it private for certain reasons. But I remember I was at university, and at the time I hadn't told any of my friends about my career. And there was a girl who was, I believe, from Afghanistan. She was studying abroad. She was studying at my university. And then suddenly she comes up to me and she's like, oh, I watch you on YouTube. And
were you with your friends?
No, I was alone.
Okay.
And I did not know how to react to that because I was super happy about it. But that meant she's going to be in my class every time. And there's a lot of my friends are with me in the same class. So I didn't know how to appreciate her, but let her know that she shouldn't really talk about it. So it was kind of a weird approach. So it's definitely one that stuck with me. Yeah.
Okay. As a person, you've been creating either on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok for the past, I don't know, like 6-7 years. What advice would you give to yourself for like 17-year-old you?
Number one, I feel like try to be less concerned with what people think, because once again, being a male in the Middle East, judgment is crazy.
Yeah.
There are things we're expected to do, things we aren't expected to do. So that definitely held me back a lot of the times when I created. So something I would tell myself is care less about what people say. Because if I did care less back then, I definitely would have posted way more. I would have been way out there, way more like open about everything I do. And yeah, it was just...
Even with telling people about your YouTube account since like the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it kind of doesn't really have to do with it, but yeah, sort of, yeah. A lot of judgment goes into social media and all of that. So part of why YouTube wasn't a public thing is because of that. Like, I wanted people to view me as an ordinary university student, not a YouTuber printed on my forehead.
Okay. So
you know
do you still like deal with that, with judgment on TikTok or YouTube? I feel like people are more
Definitely-
open about it now than they were
Yeah,
before.
definitely on TikTok. YouTube, not really, because everyone who's watching us is interested in the content itself. Like, there's no random people that are watching my reaction to Blackpink.
Yeah.
Whereas on TikTok, you know, you come on a lot of people's pages and people can be a bit picky about what they want to see or what they expect you to do as, for myself, a male in this Arab society.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being here, Ryan.
Anytime. Thank you for having me.
Thank you
It was
for-
super fun. I've never experienced anything like this, so
I've never experienced anything like this
I
either.
know,
So
I
like
know.
it's
And
new.
It's crazy that we got to do this.
Yeah, together.
You and I. Full
Like we've
circle
known each
moment.
other for like 17 years, 18 years.
Yeah. Crazy. And you've
I'm
been
so
part
proud
of
of
the
you.
whole journey.
Yeah.
I know. And
Thank you.
I love you and I appreciate you for it.
Thank you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me.
Thank you. Make sure to check out Ryan and Tiana on YouTube and to follow Ryan on TikTok and Instagram for some fun content. And all of you tuning in, thank you for being here from the beginning. If you enjoyed this pilot episode, please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the upcoming episodes. Stay tuned for our next episode with Dr. Rabia and Dere, where we will be discussing editing. Thank you.